Hi, I'm Sarah,
I'm Drew.
and we are back with another top 5 list for Let's Table It. Today we're talking about our favorite cozy games because it is getting to that time of year
Yep,
where
definitely.
we just want to sit at the table and play something nice and cozy, relaxing, and just have a lot of good family
Yep,
time.
100%.
So here are our top 5. Okay, first up we've got Meadow. And I guess as we kind of go through this, we can talk about why we find each game cozy because I think that means something different
Yeah,
to
I think
everybody.
so.
For us, I think it's kind of the mechanisms aren't cutthroat by by any stretch of the imagination, and kind of the art
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of makes things feel cozy as
And
well.
and just there's themes that resonate and hit, and just you feel it's just fun to play with.
Yes,
So.
and I think nature for sure is one of those cozy themes for us, and it's a favorite theme
Oh yeah.
as well. But in Meadow, you are taking a stroll through a beautiful meadow and finding different ecosystems and different items, maybe different views and different animals. And so it's kind of cool because each time you play a card down, you're then going to use those symbols to kind of build on top of and build
Right.
up your ecosystem to get more and more higher point cards laid
Right.
out. And I also really like in Meadow the action selection mechanism
Yes, that
where
is cool.
you have a grid of cards and then you have different pointers that are going to say 1, 2, 3, 4
Right.
or 1 through 4. And you can place those and then you're going to take that number of spaces away from where you
Right.
placed in that row or column. And so it was a really unique action selection,
Yeah.
something I don't see done very often. So it's very thinky in that
Yeah,
sense.
it is, and it's also thinky as you're building these tableaus and going through. You know, you're limited with the number you can have.
Oh, yeah.
And as you place down, you're also covering symbols. So you have to be very aware of what you're covering
Yes.
and what you might still need, especially for certain, snapshots and things like that you're working towards.
Yes, there's like a really bad feeling when you're looking at your hand of cards and you're like, oh no, I just covered that symbol
Yep.
up and I really needed it to get these other 2 cards out. Yeah, but it's a really nice, thinky,
Yeah.
puzzly type of game. You're kind of playing your own game. There's a little player interaction with that action
A little
selection
bit, yeah.
because you can kind of block people off if you want, but it's definitely not cutthroat
No,
by
no.
any stretch, at least how we play it. And it's just kind of a calming experience for us.
It is. It's very relaxed and the art is gorgeous.
And so that is Meadow.
Okay, our next is actually Disney animated. This is a nice, fun, cooperative game. We are definitely a big Disney family.
For sure.
So this hits on so many levels. It's a good one to pull out with the kids. The acrylic overlays are really fun. Again, it's an interesting action selection as things move. If they don't get taken, they become more powerful the next time as everything slides through. So that's kind of cool. You're trying to figure out, how long can I wait? When do I need to use this? Does the person next to me need it more than I do? All these types of things. And every movie that you're doing, each person has their own movie scene, and then villains that you're going against per scene. It's a little asymmetric that way, but it's really a lot of fun and a great family weight game.
Yes. Yeah, it has been a really good co-op for us. Just because we do love the theming and it's been pretty easy for the kids.
Yeah, it really has.
To kind of grasp. And I do like that mechanism where you have to balance kind of across the whole group those really strong actions because if one person is getting the same action at a high strength too many times in a row, then it's going to throw off the balance of everybody. And so you really need to make sure you're spreading those out. And I think that is a good cooperative lesson to learn for everybody as we play. Again, we love the theming. I think the only bummer on this one for me is that Funko is no longer making games.
I was wondering if you were going to talk about that.
I had always hoped that there would be more modules for this that were published, but we'll just stick with what we have, I guess.
Yeah, it is too bad. Funko's made a few good ones that we really enjoy. But this one, if you can find it, I would definitely grab it as soon as you could.
Yeah, if you're a Disney fan.
Yes.
I think some people did bounce off of it. It's not deep, it's not
No.
heavy. It's a lighter weight co-op.
Yeah.
And you can really adjust the difficulty
Yes.
very easily as far as it's right in the rule book. Like, this is how many cards you're going to use and that kind of thing, just to make it a little more scalable for the group that you have.
But again, for a family weight co-op, this really ticks so many of the boxes for us.
Yes, definitely one of our favorites. Disney animated. Okay. I feel like we talk about this game all the time, but I do absolutely love it. And I think it probably, for me at least, is the epitome of a cozy game, because not only is it a bit of a nature theme, not only are the components fantastic, but you are literally in the game trying to make your house as cozy as possible for the winter. Like, how can you get any more cozy than that? Yep. And Creature Comforts is a worker placement game with some dice rolling in there as well. And so you will get to roll some of your dice, then place all of your workers, and then roll more dice that are communal dice, shared dice. And so you kind of have an idea maybe of what you can do by the time you place your workers, but it's not a guaranteed thing. And so I think that little bit of luck.
I was going to say almost push your luck in when you're placing those out.
Yeah. You kind of have to think about, well, what are you going to prioritize then if that roll doesn't go in your favor? So there's definitely a little bit of thinkiness, a little bit of strategy, but it's not heavy. It's definitely still a relaxing experience for us.
Yes.
I would say maybe the one downside to this one is it can get a little bit long at higher player counts, but you can take some of those season cards out, and that tightens the game back up a little bit.
You just limit how long each season is. Take one out from a couple of the seasons and you're good to go. But you're right. It's with everything that you're doing and building and making for your little den or house, the art, another one of those that again is just so gorgeous. KTPG just really, this was the one I think that put them on the map. I know they had some others before, but this just, it hits so big, excuse me, so big. Great again for that family weight, but you can up it with the length of time and just the way you play, going for what.
Yeah, and there's a couple little mini modules that are in there. We played with one of those the last time we got it out, and that was really fun. That really bumped our scores up for sure, because you had these little secret goals that you were trying to achieve throughout the game, and you could fulfill them and then draw more. And so it did give you a little bit more of a pathway. Sometimes it's a little open at the beginning, just trying to figure out where to go, what you need to work on. But Creature Comforts always hits for us, and I would highly recommend giving it a shot if you haven't tried it already.
Okay, our next one is, well, another nature game, but this is Parks. We've got the first edition. I prefer the art from the first edition, but that's just me. It is a gorgeous and stunning presence on the table. You are basically walking on a hike. You are trying to visit these different parks throughout the country.
North America.
Yeah, and so you need certain resources, whether it's trees, water, sunshine, whatever it might be, to be able to visit those locations. And as you're hiking through areas, you're selecting what resources you want. The kicker is, if somebody's on that space, you might not be able to go there, or you have ways to mitigate with the campfire and some things like that. But it definitely tightens that game up from feeling really open to a lot crunchier when you do things like that. And ultimately, it's just a game of trying to collect resources and then cashing those in for the parks. But at the same time, like I said, it's a tight market.
Yes, we just recently played this again for the first time at all 4 player counts.
Yeah.
And I think does it play up to 5 maybe?
Yes.
But that was the first time we played it. I think we played it at 3 once with our daughter, but it was kind of fun to just kind of see how that game scales a little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
I think the thing that keeps this from being mean for us as far as that blocking is the fact that you get 2 hikers on the trail. And so if a space gets taken by one, you can kind of wait and hang back a little bit and see if you can't get it so that you can get that space with your hiker on the backside.
Right.
But then you're also kind of running the risk of being the last person to come in, and then you don't get that last turn. You have to come directly in to the ending area. I also really like in this edition that it has the map tiles that you shuffle.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. We haven't really seen the new edition, but it looked to me like there was maybe a printed board in that one. And I think that it's losing something. I'm sure it like tightens up the between rounds because it does take you some time to shuffle those tiles and put them back in. But
the variability you get from
really like that.
I will take that any day over a set board.
And I could be wrong. Yeah. It could be variable on that too.
We haven't had a chance to play the second edition and things like that. But like I said, the art from the first edition just pulls me in. I just, again, one thing about Keymaster is they always do things so well as far as inserts and production. It's a gorgeous quality, smaller box game.
And I think one of the things that's really fun too, like even the last time we played, there were some of the parks cards out, and our kids were like, "Oh, we went there. We've seen that. That was really cool." And so it's another way to just kind of remember some of those trips that we've taken as a family and kind of relive those memories, even when we're making new memories with playing a game. So that is parks. Okay. Our last choice is going to be something kind of unusual for us to include on the list. We don't do a lot of solo play, but when we find a solo game we love, we do really play it quite a bit. And this one was a surprise for us. Yeah. This is Snowfall Over Mountains. And it is a very small pencil first, solo only game. Yeah. Yeah. And I would kind of compare this a little bit to A Gentle Rain, where it's tiling. You have tiles like dominoes almost that you are trying to build out into this landscape area. And each game you're going to have different scoring conditions. So you have cards, you'll draw, I think, 3 of them. And then you also have some tools that can help you achieve different things. And you get points if you don't use them by the end of the game. But I really enjoy the puzzle of this one as far as what scoring conditions get pulled. How am I going to maximize those 3 things with the tiles that I'm pulling in the order that I'm pulling them? Yeah.
And it's another one, the artwork is gorgeous. It's interesting you said A Gentle Rain, because that's kind of the solo game you go to a lot and has some of that. Whereas for me, with the tiles in the lane and placement, I think of 9 Minute Kingdom because that's the one I do a little bit more. But it's interesting because it does have, some of that mechanism of trying to connect things, and to get that flow, while at the same time, trying to, like I said, maximizing what you can get from it. Yeah, definitely.
There are some cards that it's like, well, if you have more than one tree in this column or row, then you don't score that anymore. And so there's definitely a well, this would be really great for that card, but man, that's going to take away that scoring for me. So you really have to kind of crunch those numbers and think about what's going to be the most beneficial in the end of the game.
Yeah, and it's just a fun little solo puzzle is what it ends up being, but it's a great little game. It was one that I backed actually because I wanted a different one in the lineup that they had, and this turned out to be kind of the hit for us.
Sure. Yeah, the other game is no longer in our collection actually, and so I was really happy that we got this one, and it's great for this time of year as well. With those cold, our air here is getting a little bit of a bite to it, and hopefully at some point we'll get some measurable snow. Yeah. But it definitely is one that I would love to sit in on a snow day.
Exactly.
And have a cup of hot cocoa and just sit and be able to cozily play.
Yeah, I don't think this gets enough attention for what it is. I think of other games, even small games, that get more attention at solo, and this one I think just really deserves it.
Yeah, it's definitely an under the radar pick for sure. But that is Snowfall Over Mountains. Okay, well, those were our top 5 favorite cozy games. And again, cozy means something different to everybody.
So subjective.
Yes. And so if you have some different interpretations of cozy, we'd love to hear what your favorite cozy games are to play. Drop us those recommendations below. We do check them out. And we love to hear from everybody.
Oh, definitely.
If you have enjoyed our top 5 list series, make sure you are subscribed to Let's Table It. And if you want to see more of our family's day-to-day gaming adventures, whether it's Drew and I playing together as a couple or our whole family of 4 sitting down at the table to play a game, you can find us on Instagram at Sara Always Loses. So until next time, we'll see you at the table.